Welcome to the Tech Show. I'm Sonia Gavankar, and this week we're watching out for kid safety online. We talk to an expert at home testing, and another gadget tries to take my money. All that and more coming up on the Tech Show. Now it's time for the latest. Hollywood is back, but if you aren't in the mood for the latest Caped Crusader or a Faster, Furiouser sequel, may I suggest a film about an unsung breakfast food? Deadline and Variety report that Jerry Seinfeld is co-writing, directing, producing, and starring in Unfrosted, a new film about the origins of Pop-Tarts for Netflix. Seinfeld's fascination with the toaster pastry is well documented, featuring the breakfast food in his stand-up and in a New York Times video interview on joke writing. Seinfeld is penning this film exploration alongside his B-movie co-writer Spike Feresten and Barry Marder, using the classic stand-up bit as a jumping-off point. This is definitely another example of Netflix reinvesting in the relationships with comedy talent it has always cultivated, but it also just seems like the kind of goofy film idea that could only get greenlit in the heady accesses of our current streaming era. Are healthcare companies the new Facebook? Healthcare organizations and hospitals in the United States all sit on treasure troves, a stockpile of patient health data stored as electronic medical records. Those files show what people are sick with, how they were treated, and what happened next. Taken together, they're hugely valuable resources for medical discovery. Because of certain provisions of the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA, healthcare organizations are able to put that treasure trove to work as long as they de-identify the records, removing information like patient names, locations, and phone numbers. They can give or sell the data to partners for research. They don't need to get consent from patients to do it or even tell them about it. There may be benefits to sharing this data. Researchers can learn what types of treatments are best for people with certain medical conditions and develop tools to improve care. But there are risks to free-flowing data, says Eric Parlinsky, Chief Science and Digital Officer at Duke University's Clinical Research Institute. His estimates are that this practice started in 2017 or 2018 after technology made it possible to automate data de-identifying. He seems skeptical about the process, telling The Verge, "I'm sure people are going to do great things, but I've had long conversations with people in this market, and many of them genuinely believe that they're doing it because it helps patients. But they're naive, and there will be gaps in the methods that will invalidate the research. It's the move fast, break things mentality, which is wonderful, but please don't move fast and break things in my daughter's medical records." We'll be back in 30 seconds.
A Vivint smart home system with smart locks, lights, cameras, and more is the smartest way to protect your home and family. But we're not the only ones saying it. U.S. News & World Report named us the top home security system of 2019. Fast Company said we're opening the door to the connected home of the future. TechCrunch even called the Vivint smart home experience magical. Protect your home with the #1 smart home service provider in the U.S., Vivint Smart Home.
And right now, when you call 800-318-1867, we'll install your whole system for free.
Photographs of people getting triumphantly vaccinated against COVID-19 are all over social networks as announcements of upcoming appointments, first and second injections, and how well or badly they reacted to the vaccine. Like births, weddings, and graduations, the act of getting your Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson injection has become a cause for public celebration. So don't you want to do something to mark the occasion? A souvenir? of the first indication that you can begin to think seriously about hugging your relatives, entering a store without tension, and even eating comfortably in a restaurant. Sites such as Etsy, Zazzle, and Redbubble are overflowing with t-shirts, hats, and buttons proclaiming fully vaccinated, hug me, I'm vaccinated, and vaccines cause adults, and of course, vaccinated AF. So if you want to mark your future re-entry into society with something to wear, hold, or just laugh at, here are a few samples. The vaccinated initial necklace is one of the classier souvenirs we found. A gold-plated sterling silver necklace with the simple message, vaccinated, that you can choose from in a variety of lengths, 14 inches, 16 inches, 18 inches, 20, 22, 24 inches long. For those who want subtlety served with their antibodies superiority, $24 on Etsy. If you are not into subtle, this pandemic foam party vaccinated virus hat will advertise your vaccinated status for blocks. And now that the weather is warming up, it's perfect for your first outdoor party, barbecue, or picnic. Be poked and be proud, $40 on Etsy. So what are you going to do once you've been vaccinated? For some of us, it's been so long that our imaginations have totally dried up. This 100 Things to Do After Quarantine calendar may help. Hang it up and check off all of the 100 ideas it offers you to do. And once you're done, scratch the squares to show a fun illustration and track your reemergence into society. $15 at Common Goods. If you're not ready to leave the house and are looking for something to occupy yourself besides the 50th rerun of WandaVision, why not try one of these simple COVID-19 vaccination commemoration embroidery patterns so that you can memorialize the moment? Or make it for a relative or friend so they can have something more personal than yet another selfie to remember the occasion by. Just $11 on Etsy. And who would have ever thought that anyone would think it would be a good idea to have images of face masks and hypodermic needles hanging from your holiday tree? Yet there they are, ornaments to hang around the tree, in a window, or around your neck, proclaiming that you too have indeed been vaccinated in 2021. You can even specify which vaccine you got. Wear your new status with pride for just $12 on Etsy. We'll be back with more of the Tech Show in just a moment. Stay tuned. As it looks like our communication will be a hybrid model for a while, from social visits to education, it might be good to check in on the latest ways to keep our kids and teens safe online. And who better to turn to than Dr. Caleb Charles, digital protection expert and creator of SecurityOrb.com. Hello, Dr. Charles.
Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for having me.
No problem. So let's get right into it. One of your areas of expertise is preventing malicious events. I think many people assume you have to be a huge company to be targeted, or a government organization. What are some things that regular old individuals like us need to guard against?
That's a really good question. And, one of the things that we've identified is that cyber attackers have different groups that they go after. You have those that target the large organizations and go after top secret information. And you also have the cyber attackers that go after the individuals. And a lot of individuals usually state that, what is on my computer that is of any concern or worth to a cyber attacker. And the bottom line is you do have important information. For example, when we talk about ransomware, you have pictures, you have tax information, a lot of private information on your computer. And an attacker knows that if they are able to compromise your system, that they can get you to pay that particular ransom. And there's a couple different things. One is that we always ask, keep a clean system. And what I mean by keeping a clean system is making sure that your system is up to date and your applications are up to date. A lot of times we get these notifications saying, please update your system, and you're busy doing something, or you're don't want to reboot your system, and you forego that particular update. And these particular updates close actual holes that might have an attack vector onto your property.
So what about our young people? They have things that they want to keep safe, but how do we safeguard them when they're using devices? What are the most commonly used safety things that we should be thinking about?
Yeah, another excellent question. I mean, one of the key things that we always state is minimize the use of geolocation or location services on your mobile devices. If you're implementing posts at school, at your practice, and the geolocation is apparent, this will provide individuals with your activity and after a while, trending of your particular location and activity. So we always say limit the geolocation to prevent individuals from knowing where you are. Also, password protect your devices. Um, you don't want to leave it open if you were to set it down or someone were to gain access to it and they'll be able to post on your behalf. And just like I stated before, you want to make sure that your phone and your apps are updated, that you have the latest and greatest updates protecting you against various types of attack vectors.
Now, we can't be with our kids all the time when they're using these tools. So what's some advice that we can give when teaching our kids and teens for them to be more cautious and for them to not give away personal information? How do we get them to make the right choices?
Sure. So, one of the first steps is usually having a conversation with the parent and the child. Statistics show that about 175,000 youth kids are using the internet for the first time. So if you break it down, that's about a half a second, a new child every half a second. So with all these new entries into the internet space, the online space, having a conversation between a parent and child is a very important step. And one of the key things that we provide in security.com is a parent and child contract. This kind of gives the uh, delineations of what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. Basically, if you are going to do something in an online service, you need to get the parent's permission first. If you're meeting someone for the first time that you've met online, that you need to let the parents know, so we could either go with you if it's a online purchase and you need to meet the person. So it provides a starting point. It provides the expectations that the parent expects from the child, and it also provides the expectations that the child expects from the parent who is providing that particular device. So a conversation is usually the first and best thing to do. Another component is applying content filtering software on the electronic device. Content filtering software has become a very important aspect when it comes to online safety for children. It helps discover suicide discussion. It helps discover cyberbullying. It helps discover inappropriate activities. And it sends that information to the parent where the parent could kind of interject before it becomes a more serious issue. Again, statistics show that by the age of 14, uh, children get exposed to inappropriate content at least once in that particular period. So again, having the discussion, having the parent-child contract, as well as having some content filtering software that can do some early detections are very helpful.
That's great. And I love using that contract because then you can kind of use it as a third party to say, oh, these are the things that we want to talk about. It's not like your mother is crazy and she wants to talk to you about these things. That's kind of like a nice, easy way in. Thanks so much. Where can we find out more information and maybe find that contract?
Sure. So going on securityorb.com, that's the landing page. We also have securityorb.com/IS4K, which stands for Internet Safety for Kids. We have tons of articles, tons of presentations, tools that you could use in an educational setting or just in a personal setting. And we are also on social media at securityorb.com for both Instagram as well as Twitter.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the great tips.
Is your
Over the last year and a half, many of us have been shut in our homes and making calculated risks when we leave. So the idea of going in for a regular checkup to follow up on a weird lingering health issue didn't seem worth it. Many are now finding they let things go too long. Everlywell has been using that time to help many people, particularly women, with testing at home. Joining us from Everlywell is registered nurse Charlotte Purdy. Hello, Charlotte.
Hi, how are you?
So the pandemic changed our lives forever. What are some ways the pandemic changed healthcare, especially for women?
That's a really great question. So the pandemic has changed so much for everyone. We started working from home. People are working out at home. A lot of things that you weren't doing at home, you're now doing at home. And one of those things is at-home lab test. And so Everlywell has over 30 different tests that we can use to talk about thyroid, testosterone, fertility, and even indoor and outdoor allergies. So it's become a really convenient way for people to take charge of their health.
That's really great, and especially when we can do it at home, we can get kind of a jump start on the medical testing and the doctor's visits that we need to do. Are there any things that women can do to take care of themselves from home?
Absolutely. So there are a few simple things that you can do that take just 5 minutes or less, and you can do them all from the comfort of your home. One that is so important is to check for lumps. So doing a do-it-yourself breast exam every month to check for abnormalities is really important. Another thing that's super important is at-home lab testing. So you can actually check your hormone levels at home to take a look at maybe menopause or even fertility, and actually even high-risk HPV. So you can do all of that from the comfort of your home.
That's great.
So mindfulness apps are really important. And I know here at Everlywell, we really take the time to do that. There are apps that take 3 to 5 minutes, and you can really practice, doing meditation and taking some time for yourself. And then another really great tip is to get outside. So go outside in the sunshine and try to get some vitamin D. Vitamin D deficiency is actually half of the population may be vitamin D deficient. And so if you are concerned about your vitamin D levels, Everlywell does have a simple at-home test that you can check your levels at home.
So over the last year, a lot of women really focused on reproductive health. There's a lot of testing involved in that, a lot of going into the office for office visits. How can a test like yours help women when they're trying to conceive?
So at-home lab testing is a really great first step. And so what you can do with an at-home fertility test like ours is you can take a look at your hormone levels, and what that provides you with is some insightful information about, are your hormones in the normal range? Are they out of range? Do you have a potential hormone imbalance that may require medication or further, guidance from your healthcare provider? And then once you have those results, we really do encourage you to share that information with your healthcare provider to see what their best guidance is and what other options are out there for you.
So with your tests, how is that different than going into the doctor? And if I do have a plan to see, a doctor for an annual visit, should I do the test before? What's the order here of how to kind of optimize my health and wellness, but also optimize time?
There's really not a right or a wrong way to do that. You could certainly reach out to your healthcare provider, let them know what symptoms you have, and if there's any tests that they would recommend for you. So that's one way to do it. But another way is to take control of your health, and you can order an at-home lab test, do the testing at home, get your results back. I actually lead several of the webinars, and so you can have a conversation either with me through webinar once you have your results, and that can maybe help you come up with some questions that you might want to ask your healthcare provider. During those webinars, we do encourage you to share all of the information with your healthcare provider so that they can best take a look at your whole health.
So insurance, does it cover the tests?
So the tests are covered by HSA and FSA, but another really great thing about Everlywell is our tests are really affordable. And so it may actually be cheaper for you to do a test at home than to go through your health insurance. But we would definitely recommend you check in with your insurance plan if you do have one before you make that decision.
And timeline, how long does it take once I decide on a test? How long does it take to get to me? The turnaround time, what am I looking at?
Once you get the test, if you're ready to take the test now, you can complete it that day or on your own time frame. We would definitely advise you to send the test back as soon as possible, so either the same day or the day after, and then your results you'll have usually within a week.
Awesome. Where can people get more information?
So you can go to everlywell.com, and we have a lot of great information on our website there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Charlotte. You're making me feel healthy already.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And here's a summer life-saving tip you need to check out.
We have the world at our fingertips, inspiration in our touch, and power in our hands. Our hands can build relationships, frame ideas, and empower communities. And it doesn't stop there. Right here, in our hands, we have the power to save a life. If you see a teen or adult suddenly collapse, call 911 and push hard and fast in the center of the chest.
The power is in your hands.
We have one final break, then we're back with Take My Money right here on The Tech Show. Stay with us. Now it's time for Take My Money, where this week we're apparently just leaving home candles burning with no supervision.
This is Alec, the world's first automatic lid that extinguishes candles. Alec comes equipped with a digital timer that can be set for a maximum of 3 hours within increments of 30 minutes. Alec can also be charged using a lightning cable and an external battery or wall plug. Alec may be equipped with or without a stand and comes in various finishes. Alec, the world's first automatic lid that extinguishes candles.
Absolutely not. First of all, blowing out candles is genuinely satisfying. Why would I want to buy something that would take that simple joy away from me? Maybe this is just the first step to auto-extinguishing forest fires. But until then, ALEC, which is an acronym for whatever, don't love it, I'm keeping my money, but I will send you back to the drawing board because I feel like there is something in there, but it's forest fire related, so get back to me when you're ready. Thanks for joining us this week. Follow us at The Tech Show TV and join the conversation. Tech you later.